everybody, and welcome back to the channel. It's your girl Lori. I'm going to talk to you about mindset. I was originally going to give you a recipe for my Chipotle chicken bowl, and I will give it to you, but in the middle of my recording, my microphone turned off. So I'm not going to re-record it because I was doing it in real time. So I'm going to talk into it, but I just didn't have time to do it. No way I was going to leave you hanging. So I wanted to give you a mindset shift, and that alone is an example of what a mindset shift is. In my brain, I was like ahead of the game. Things were going good. I was like, "Ooh, I'm gonna edit it last night." And I was kind of like editing it, and I looked away for a minute. I was like, "Oh, that's weird. Maybe somebody called me or something during the time." Like, because like the volume was gone. And I was like, yeah, no, the microphone just like turned completely off. So no, it's still coming though, I promise. And it was so good. But the mindset is, what are you going to do about it, right? So we already know what's out of your control. But I wanted to give you 3 examples of a good mindset shift that you can incorporate in your day, like all the time, right? It's so good for you. A mindset is something that no one can control but yourself. Yes, you have experiences. Yes, you have your anxieties. Those make it maybe a little bit more difficult to be positive, but your mindset is not the same as just being positive. Your mindset is a good example of that. And I did a post on, posted a carousel on it. But one is, when you have those dark days, number one, you got to know that those days are going to be there. In no planet are things just going to be great all the time. It's just not going to happen. But when you're in that dark place, and I've been there, and it's not fun, but you can either look around the dark and bump into things and go, "Oh my God, it's so dark, there's no light here," or you can look for the stars. See, you can't see the stars unless it's dark, and it's beautiful. And sometimes it's about pumping your brakes and just, you can't control what you can't control, but you can control how you see it, right? It's real easy to be positive when things are going great. It's your mindset for when they're not, right? Because it's going to happen. Things are going to arise and you're going to be like, "Oh, that sucks." Yeah, it sucks. It does. But are you going to live in the suck, or are you going to look at it? So like I said, when you're in the darkness, I promise you, even in the most wretched things, there is a silver lining if you choose to see it. If you choose to see it, right? It's not about invalidating it. It's about knowing that not everything is all good and not everything is all bad. No people are either. No person is all bad. No person is all good. They're just not. We are flawed humans. It's a mindset that you must accept, especially about yourself. So in that darkness, are you going to look for the stars, or are you just going to complain that it's dark? Because living in the woe is me, that victim part of it, that's a mindset. There's no magic pill here. There's no magic pill. You're not going to take a pill. Yeah, it's going to cut down some chatter. Therapy's great. Exercise is amazing. Eating well is awesome. Being hydrated is great. These are all amazing tools, but it's still a mindset. Okay? And I think too, when you're shaping your mindset, don't adopt other people's mindset to it. Like, how like our family members, let's say you have a very negative parent, you don't have to adopt that. That might be how you grew up. Yep, we know the reason. Don't let that be the excuse. Okay, so that's your number one, is in the darkness, I want you to look for the stars. Okay, number 2 is you are an imperfectly perfect human being. That means you are flawed. You will make mistakes. You have made mistakes. It is what it is. You are imperfectly perfect. And when you get really hard on yourself and you start like degrading yourself and "I'm so stupid and why did I do that?" That is a mindset too. Yes, it goes into insecurity. Yes, it goes into a million other things. I'm talking about your mindset here. Your mindset. So if that's somebody else, if that's somebody you love desperately and they drop the ball somewhere, they're really beating themselves up, and you go, "Man, you're okay. Like, there's nothing you can do about it. You're doing good." You give them this grace. You give them this empathy. Not when it comes to you, though. Oh, no. You apparently were supposed to do everything perfect. You apparently were supposed to knock it out the park. You, like all of these things. Do you see what I'm saying? You're not giving yourself the grace. So it's a mindset to understand I'm imperfect. I'm always going to be imperfect. I don't care what I do, how I do it, and how much I do it. Always going to be imperfect. That's a guarantee, because perfection's not real. There's not a benchmark of perfectionism when you're born. So, but then you give yourself the grace when you kind of like, I kind of did a little ugly thing there. It's okay. You learn from it. This week's podcast, actually, so I don't really do the numbers on there anymore, but like I think it's got like 107 or 108 is going to be on regrets, and I don't carry regrets. You have a regret, then you learn from the regret, you look at the lesson, it's no longer a regret, right? So that's what we're going to talk a lot about, because people get so caught up in, a lot of that goes into ego too, right? Because you're like, I'll just go back in time and change it. You can't. You're not just going to, So number 2 is, like I said, when you accept that you are imperfectly perfect, you give yourself grace. When you trip up a little bit, you give yourself a little grace. It's a beautiful thing, but it's a mindset. It's not just about positivity. It's about understanding that you can choose how you see your life, which is number 3, your mindset shift. What you seek, you will find. And that's just how life works. If your mindset is constantly, my mindset is, I know people are out to get me. I know people are trying to get over on me. You will find it, even if they're not doing it, because your perception of it will be as such. And there's a podcast coming out on that too, is, all of that. And, and you got to be careful of that all or nothing thinking, that everybody's out to get me. Always, never, those big words, always, never, everyone, no one, I don't have any friends, I'm never going to have a relation. Like it's every big mindset, because that is a victim mindset. That all or nothing thinking is a victim mindset. And that is a mindset. I didn't say you didn't go through something. I didn't say you didn't experience loss. I didn't say you didn't experience a trauma. It's your mindset around that trauma. So the third mindset shift is, what you seek, you will find. This includes positivity. If you look at it like the first one, dark, look at the stars, let's find some constellations. Because you might go back there again. You might be in that dark again. And when you're there, you better know where to find those lights, stars and lights. Look for the lights. And so that's just 3 of many. It's definitely the foundation of my work. It's the foundation with my clients. It's definitely the foundation in my life. Because I have been in a negative mindset for so long, growing up especially. I talk about it. There's a couple more chapters I have to write in my book, but it's a big one. That negative, that darkness, that mindset, that getting attached to what that trauma was as an identity is a mindset. That trauma happened. It absolutely did. Absolutely did. But it's your responsibility now to heal that and continue to heal it and continue to work on it all of your life. But it's not going to happen if you're always looking at this is never going to happen. I will never be okay. I will never have friends. I will never get married. I will never have this job. I will never have all this money. I will never have, okay, well, you're not gonna. You're not gonna. Sometimes the cards that are dealt you, you're like, really? This is what I got? You're gonna have to figure out how to play that hand. And sometimes you drop those cards and you pick up new ones. But it's still a mindset. So your call to action is to really, this is where those 5 journals come in handy. Go out and look at the 5 journal series here on the YouTube, on the playlist. I promise you, it helps you understand your mindset so much. Because at the end of the day, you're temporary. Everyone around you is temporary. That's your little bonus, harsh truth. And boy, is it a glass pill to swallow. You and your loved ones will die, and you don't know when. Usually, you don't know when. You don't gotta love it. Oh, believe me, you don't gotta love it. But oh my God, it is debilitating. It is a debilitating feeling to think that you can't prevent your own death or anybody else's. But did you hear what I said? You can't prevent it. So if somebody got somewhere on their own choices, you can't prevent it. Harsh reality and radical acceptance. And when you get clear in those things, when you get clear there, you start seeing things differently. You see the opportunities. Without seeing it though, you're not going to see those opportunities. Opportunities will never present themselves because you'll never see them, because you'll never be looking for them. How do I know that? Because that's a mindset shift. And it took me to do that, to even want to be on the planet. Shift that mindset. It's your responsibility.